What's up, everybody? This is Josh here with Basement Level Magic. This week on our mail time, I'm going to show you the cards that I've received over the last couple weeks. I'm going to show you what cards that I am picking up right now. And there's one big key lesson that I want you to go ahead and stick around for at the end. Talking about trading on Pucatrade, and there's a valuable lesson to learn for you. So I'm going to start with some of the standard cards that I've been picking up over the last couple of weeks. Right before MTG Goldfish posted a Part the Water Veil deck, I had put in an order form, so I picked up 4 copies, and I got them for around $1. It's starting to see going up to about $2 now. I think there's, with all this ramp out there, it seemed like a obvious inclusion in your pickups. So definitely check out that Part the Water Veil. Another card is a spec that I have mostly on the next set, because I feel like there's going to be a lot more allies coming in, and the card that's going to probably see the largest spike because of that is Drana. So I've been picking up a few copies of her. She's going right now for around $7, $7.50. You may be able to find her for a little bit cheaper, but that's a decent price for a card that was going, for $15, $20 as pre-sale. And so it is a mythic, so it's not going to, I don't believe it's going to plummet. I don't think people are opening a ton more of BFZ packs right now. So it's hard to see it drop too much unless Allies just is not a thing at all in the next set. Another card, or the next couple cards I'm going to show you are standard cards right now, but they're seeing a lot more play in your modern decks and possibly beyond that. And the one to start with on that is Painful Truths. If you've been reading anything, people love Painful Truths. They think it's going to be one of the big cards that you can use for card draw in all your black decks in the future. So I'm picking up a few of those, and I generally, if I see a standard card that's at a decent price and I can pick it up for a foil price for, I don't know, under $5, under $10, I definitely do that. Because if it's going to be seen in a modern deck, a lot of times people want to have foil versions of it. But at this time, I had only picked up a bunch of regular copies of it. I was able to get from one person. He sent me 3 of them. They were all a different language, and I'm pretty excited when I see that, because there was one that was Russian, one that was Japanese, and one Korean. I don't know about you guys. I think seeing foreign language cards is pretty exciting. So hopefully you like that. The other card I've got that's a standard card that is seeing a lot more play in other formats is Pierre and Kieran Nalaar. Now, I have picked up these all as foils because I see that card just getting a lot more play recently. It's being seen in Grixis builds, it's being seen in a lot of cards that are more the splash red, not necessarily the burn decks, but a lot of the more mid-range red decks. It's definitely a very valuable card, and I think right now is a great time to pick it up. Now, it has seen several prints because there was a promo of it, but that promo one, I'm not sure if it was maybe a buyout, but you'll see that price has actually shot up to over $10 on MTG Goldfish, whereas the rest of the copies are more around the $4 to $5 mark. This is definitely, these cards are things that you want to be looking forward to, more possibly a spike in January, February, rather than a spike right now. But you definitely want to keep an eye on those, because any cards that you think are going to be seen play in Modern, you should start looking for right now. Speaking of which, I did pick up 4 copies of Master of the Pearl Trident. Luckily, 2 of them are foreign language. One of them is Spanish and one of them is Japanese. And like I said before, I'm a big fan of getting the foreign language cards, so you should definitely look at that. If you watched any of the Modern play last year, Merfolk was definitely a rising deck, and there's a lot more people out there trying to play Merfolk right now. It's actually a strong deck, and you should definitely look into doing that. Master of the Pearl Trident, I believe, only has 1 printing, so there is a good chance that card is able to see even more of a spike, even though it's been steadily rising from $4 to about $8 over the last couple months. Another card that I picked up that is just seeing play in Modern, but there was a Green-White Hate Bears deck by Craig Wesco a couple weeks back, and the most powerful card that I had seen in that was Leonin Arbiter, which is a card where players can't search their libraries. Any player that may any player may pay 2 for that player to ignore this effect. So you've got all these decks playing fetch lands, and all of a sudden they're not able to do it. So I feel like this card is definitely something that could see a lot of play in the future. It could be out of the sideboard. It could be just straight up main decked in a hate bear style of deck. But that is a card that's sitting around $7 right now, and I feel like that card will probably go up. $7 for the foil, that is. So that's why I picked up 4 copies of it. I could definitely see that rising. And then, of course, I'm still picking up lands. If you can pick these cards up for that $5 to $7 mark, you're still going to be wanting to pick up these full art foil lands. Make sure to check those out. They are going to be... they're going to go up in the future. They have already gone up. Some of the islands are already upwards of $13 a piece. So keep an eye out for that. As far as cards that I have coming in this week right now, as I talked about that Merfolk deck, I just put in for a playset of foil Harbinger of the Tides. Right now that is one of the, it's the standard card right now that it's under $7 you can get the foil copies. And that's one of the absolute cheapest cards that you can get that is sometimes played as a 4 of in that deck. So keep an eye out for that. I have actually started putting in for some modern cards that I actually want to play. So I have put my order down for some Snapcaster Mages. Right now it's going for $61.66 on Pucatrade. I've got a few coming in, so I definitely recommend doing that. And then the other card that I am bringing in a bunch of right now is Foil Painful Truths. Now that card has already seen a spike. It actually went in one day from $3 to $13.50 on Pucatrade, and so it's already seen a major spike. That spike did come back to bite me a little bit because I actually was able to pick up a few copies at $3, and then all of a sudden later that day they jump it to $13.50, and so everyone jumps on there and sells off their Painful Truths. Unfortunately for me, I wasn't able to take my I guess bids back, and so I am getting a few of them at that price. I do feel like it'll probably be worth that price, so I'm not too unhappy about it, but it's definitely a word of warning when you're using Pucatrade. They don't let you know when prices go up, and you aren't able to put a max bid on there. So you really have to watch that pretty closely and make sure that if you're trying to get cards at a really cheap price, you may end up paying the full price for them. So that's my word of advice for this week. Let me know what you guys are trying to spec on out there. I don't think I have anything else going on right now. Standards, there's not a lot of cards going up in price. Everything's going down. So if you do need to pick up some standard cards, go ahead and pick those up. Make sure you have all your battle lands, because they will see a spike after the fetch lands go out, I believe. So make sure you keep an eye on those. Pick them up if you can. I think that's it. Thanks everybody for watching. This is Josh here with Basement Level Magic. Later.